Which speedcubing method is the future? There are a lot of different speedcubing methods, ones ranging from block building all the way to ones that solve different parts of the cube at different times. So which method is best for you? Comment below what method you use for 3x3, and also while you're down there, subscribe to my channel. There are three main 3x3 methods: CFOP, RU, and ZZ. So what do each of these specialize in? Let's start with the most common, CFOP. So CFOP's move count varies, but if you're top level, you're gonna average around 55 moves per solve. If you average around 10 like me, your move count's probably gonna be around 60 to 65 moves. CFOP's main strength is look ahead, and compared to other methods, it is the most common to the beginner Swift method, which is why it is so common. Its main weakness is number 1, it has a lot of algs that you need to learn compared to like RU and ZZ. Number 2, you rotate a lot. And number 3 is if the cross is not done efficiently, you're going to waste a lot of valuable inspection time. The second most popular method is RU. RU is mainly a block building method. It has a low move count, which is its main strength, but it also doesn't really require any rotations. Its main weakness is a lot of M moves, but I do think you can get very fast with this method. Now the third most common method is ZZ. ZZ is all about the edge orientation kind of stuff. The main strength of the method is that it doesn't require any rotations, and it's usually a little bit lower in move count than CFOP. The weakness about it though is it's kind of hard to plan EO and EO line in inspection. Also, it can be a waste of inspection because it only solves 2 pieces. Okay, so now that we know what the methods do, what is the best method for you? Well, if you don't like rotations and you like block building, RU is definitely for you. If you don't like block building or rotations, then ZZ is definitely for you, especially if you're used to CFOP because it's very similar. And if you're good at turning and you want something like the LBL method, CFOP, it just is. You just do CFOP. If you're neither of those 3 people, then just do CFOP. Everybody doesn't need ZZ to get fast at. And really, no matter what your preferences are, I still recommend CFOP because it's a lot easier to teach, a lot more people use it, so yeah, a lot more people can teach you. And it's also just probably the best method, let's be honest. CFOP has so many moves, so there's no way it's the best method, right? Well, that's where ZB comes in. ZB is a very hard method to learn. It is similar to CFOP, but on the last pair, you solve edge orientation. This is called ZBLS. Then you can use one algorithm out of 493 to solve the rest of the cube. That's called ZBLL. Yeah, that's a lot of algs. With ZBLS and ZBLL combined, that's 795 algorithms you need to learn. That's a lot. With traditional CFOP, including F2L and last layer, you're going to learn anywhere from 16 to 119 algorithms. And that 119 is only if you learn one algorithm for each F2L case. So the top 2 cubers in the world use 2 different methods, CFOP and ZB. These 2 methods are the real methods to use. Let's talk about CFOP first. As I've already said, CFOP is medium to high in move count per solve. You can also have a lot of rotations in a solve, but you can turn extremely fast with it. Yihang Wing is the fastest cuber in the world with a 3.51 world record average, destroying the last world record by 0.2 of a second. Yihang globally averages mid-4. His average move count is 54 moves, and his average TPS is 13 to 15 turns per second. That is crazy. If he got a 50 move solution and he turned at that high TPS, he would get a 3.33 single. That's insane because it's almost a 1/5 of a second faster than the world record average right now. Then there is Xuanyi. Xuanyi uses ZB. So you'd think that he'd be able to turn as fast as you can with CFOP because they're so similar, right? Well, no, because when you have to recognize a case out of 493 different cases, you're bound to pause. But what Xuanyi has done is he has optimized the method so far that he can recognize a case from all 4 sides. He basically recognized 1,972 different recognition angles. And that's only using 2 sides. And because of that, it only takes him 0.3 of a second to recognize a case. Xuanyi also turns at a crazy 11 to 12 TPS per solve. Which is crazy because if he has to pause to recognize that much, you'd think that he would have a lot slower TPS, but no, he doesn't. He also saves 8 moves from Yihang. 8 moves, that's critical at the highest level. But he is losing 1 move to Yihang in his F2L, which means that in his last layer, he is saving 9 moves over Yihang. OLPLL is clearly more inefficient than ZBLL. Now it's time to figure out what method is the best. In my opinion, there are 5 categories, and whoever has more should have the better method. The first one is efficiency. And this one is pretty self-explanatory based off of what I've already said. ZB is a lot more efficient. It saves 8 moves from the CFOP user, so yeah, efficiency is going to go to ZB on this one. Next is TPS. This one's going to go to CFOP because with CFOP you run into your cases a lot more than with ZB. Also, the algs for CFOP are a lot more finger trick friendly. Also, as I've said before, ZB takes years to recognize. Okay, not years, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to take a long time to recognize it, so TPS goes to CFOP. The third one is consistency. With CFOP, you can get really bad cases like E-perm or this OLL. This OLL is trash. It can get bad, to say the least. But with ZB, there aren't really any bad cases except for the H and Pi ZBLLs, but you don't really run into those very often. So consistency will go to ZB. Fourth is look ahead. CFOP and ZB are pretty equal once you get to your third pair, but once you get to the fourth pair, ZB is you're gonna have to pause to recognize the ZBLS, then you're gonna have to pause to recognize the ZB. So this one's gonna go to CFOP. So now we're tied at 2-2. Whoever takes the next one wins. The fifth and final one is results. Well, when you think about it, you're like, oh, CFOP has the world record average. Well, that doesn't really mean that it has better results. But ZB does great under pressure. But CFOP does too. Guys, leave me a comment on what method you think is better. I think it is neither. Whatever one works for you.